Hey, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to go ahead and do a market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. So the market is trying to finish August with some upside, and what we're seeing right now is the reversal process take place. We have hit the sell area, and we should see a reversal. We clearly have a three-wave move off this low. This is not an impulse. Now, one thing, if you're a bear, you need to watch for is here you can have one cycle, and two, if you were to take this high here back at 452.94, then you may actually negate the bearish scenario where you can get this 5 and still pull back pretty deep, but not make a new low. So the setup, I think, could be in jeopardy if that something like that were to happen. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of do or die time for the Bears. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if you're a bull, you really want to see these highs taken out. So until that happens, the this bearish structure is still the preferred view, and I would expect to see a pretty nasty September in terms of selling in the indices. So then, of course, the Dow Jones was pretty weak today, and as you could see, I hit the sell area that I had here. I was telling you 35,000, and we did hit that area, and it's really struggled, and then it fell back below the breakout line that I have and closed below it. Very bearish, and now we should be heading lower. So this turn. Now, of course, if we were to take that high out, then it changes everything. Right now, I have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a flat correction. Here, expanded flat. If we take this high out, it would negate that. Then you would be looking at a three-wave move up, and then typically that would more than likely break this high and then take you to new highs. So again, this is a very important level that has to hold if you're a bear. Has to hold if you're a bear. If it doesn't, then you're in trouble. But as you can see, we should have started that move. Here, the Nasdaq's in this massive wedge that just broke out. We'll see tomorrow on the jobs report. Will it, have a waterfall sell-off and the wedge pattern plays out? We'll see if that happens. Here, you don't really have the 4, so you could still make another high in tech and not negate the bearish view, I believe. This has not been this is not strong enough to say that this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and then the IWM clearly hit the sell area and it's down in this three-wave move. It was not a flat. After all, it was a three-wave move up, and when you adjust the targets for the three-wave move, it hit it and it got rejected. And again, the triple Qs, it's in the sell area. It's trying to fill this gap. And like I said, it could still fill this gap and still keep the bearish case intact. But what's interesting is this wedge broke down today, and we're here. So we'll see. And then let's just look at futures. Do they offer us clues? Again, really bad here. Look at this bearish, again, sell area went down. ES is in the sell area. It's breaking down. It looks like it has 5 waves down here. And a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and coming up in 2. So that looks like that high should hold. If it were to break again, that would be bullish. And it could even negate the bearish new low scenario. Something to keep in mind. And the Nasdaq hit the sell area, is really struggling in this area, and it could still make a new high and not negate it. And then the Russell pushed the extreme, and it actually came out. So if you were trying to short it, you would have had some problems shorting the Russell here, but looks like it's coming down now. So that's the market. So you would expect the last day of the month to be bullish, and everybody wants to buy. It's a holiday, so on and so on. But there is a jobs report, so we don't know. Looks like we're in this two-wave. Looks like we're going to get a two wave, and perhaps here we can come back up. But I would say be really really cautious if we do take this high out here. This would make me have to rethink what we are in at the moment. And remember what I said before, the likelihood of this being a super crash is very low because this is a three-wave move down and we have a three-wave move up. So with this push higher, it really negated any kind of impulse down on this SPY. And so it gives you set up for this three-wave move, which should set you up for new highs later. So if we do push up and negate the bearish count, we could get just like a one more impulse high, break this high at 460, come up to 467, and then have a massive, drop, a March 2020 style sell-off. So I'll be also thinking of that scenario too, but right now that's not the case. The market did what it needed to do today and go red. So the PCE report was, after all, bearish. It just took the market a little bit to digest the news, and we sold off pretty steadily, very impulsive on the Dow, and I do believe this sell-off will continue. So then the Hang Seng doesn't look like it's trading yet. Again, it got rejected in a 1-2, and now it should be heading lower to these new lows that I have down here. And Bitcoin sold off the short area in a 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's in wave 4 at the moment. It could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2, but let's just go with that for now. And again, we get that wave 2 where the market can maybe make one more high. Where do I think Bitcoin is eventually going? 21,000. Oil, this wave 5 is playing out perfect. We have been right on with this oil market, this whole time. I mean, it's just been following exactly how it's been forecasted. And we should see 88.46. There is a possibility that this can accelerate in a 1, 2, 1, 2. Or I can, again, put the X here in a three-wave move with a connector. And so what's the worst case scenario for oil that I could see? 98.89. So oil's tricky here because it could really squeeze and accelerate to the upper areas. And if you look at this corrective pattern, double bottom, breakout, this seems too shallow. It seems like it'll come up a little more. And so we'll want to keep an eye on that. And again, if we take this RSI out on the oil market, then the count will be more bullish, but eventually it will end. This X wave will end, and then that should do it. So this will probably be bearish for the stock market and technology as this plays out, my guess. And it will also be inflationary because oil is the king commodity. As oil goes up, they all go up. So just remember that. It's the super inflationary commodity, so this is not good, which would make sense. The market won't like this, this rising like this. But once this fifth wave is in and done, and it could end anywhere, we should get a dramatic sell-off in oil again, as I think the recession takes hold or slow down. The 1 year, let's see, the 2 years are the most important. So we hit this 5-wave peak. We're in maybe a B wave. We could be in a flat. We could go a little lower down, but I do expect this to come out. And there's a chance it's done here. And this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down and out. Don't really want to trade that. Everyone's trading the TLT for whatever reason, and it's so difficult to try to forecast this. Again, this 5 can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 can be done, It could be an extended fifth. There's too many possibilities, but I do just show it that it is technically finished. If we can get a clean break of this trend line, then I would say the 5 is in, and we'll see a much bigger sell-off, and then maybe the TLT would work as a trade, and this will probably, like I said, be massively risk-off deflationary. The dollar index really surprised people today with this pop, you know, and this looks very impulsive. That's again about to finish. It's the first wave up here, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we should get a pullback. So the markets could be supported, but be careful. Again, it could be another 1, 2. You have this inverse head and shoulders here. If that inverse head and shoulders plays out tomorrow, we could see again more selling in the dollar, more buy, strengthen the dollar, which is selling across the cyclical sectors like we had today, and then we'll see where this goes. The VIX is way beyond my target, filled the gap, and now it's at extreme low, massively again oversold. It's ripe for a massive rip higher, which I believe we will get, and in this right shoulder finishing out. This is now starting to circulate the internet. Remember, I was kind of the first one to show you guys this weeks ago. This should move up just like I have it here. Now, if we were to break below this $12 level, then it's negated, the patterns negate it, and we could form a bigger head. That would be pretty bullish, and that may be the first sign that the bearish invalidation is in place. So keep an eye on that, but here I expect we're due for a pretty significant bounce at any moment higher. And again, if you buy puts, remember Vega, right? Vega is a value. Your puts are purchased. It's a way to value those. So you could buy a put and through your Vega, through a VIX spike, make a good bit of change without the underlying stock really changing much. So just this is a great opportunity for puts because of how inexpensive it is right now. So this is telling me too there's a lot of complacency. A lot of people, what I've noticed, are saying all-time highs again. Clear skies, go all in, it's great, 3 of 3 and all this. I think you got to be a lot more cautious because of this bearish setup. And if people are throwing caution to the wind now or are telling you go long now, just hold out, ride it out, you're really rolling the dice. You're taking a massive risk, and I don't think you realize the risk you're taking. It'd be better if you're long to be on the sidelines and get some more bullish confirmation. The ideal case is if you really are bullish and want to buy, is get this pull back, get a new high, and then let it come back down and buy it again here when that happens. But everyone's got to do what's best for you. But I do think there's a lot of complacency right now throughout a lot of traders, a lot of investors. They're not prepared for a really black swan type event. They may be prepared for jobs reports, for CPI, for all those things, but they're not prepared to wake up and say China is invaded Taiwan. They're not prepared for the black swan, a massive bank to fail, a massive company to fail. Like no one's prepared for that, the black swan. They're only prepared for what they think is in front of them. But I believe what will cause this is still not known to the market. But I think to smart money, it's showing up because you did see some bearish breakdowns in China. I think whatever is happening in China and is going to trickle over to us in September. And I believe there's a massive slowdown, call it like a big black hole in the economy. And I think it's going to show up in September in our markets, in our economic forecasts, in earnings, and so on. Just my suspicion. But anyway, but no one's prepared. A lot of complacency. But hey, good for you guys. It's great to not have to worry about things. But if we do get this fifth, this wave out, the VIX spike, the drop to 400 SPY, if all that plays out here like I have shown, there'll be a lot of fear in the marketplace, and we'll see how this goes. So the next week's really important for the Bears. Tomorrow would be a surprise if it's sold off really hard, but there is a warning sign with the wedge breakdown here that we could be open for a massive sell-off tomorrow. This is the only indicator that I have that shows a potential massive gap and run down tomorrow. So just maybe Friday will be a lot more eventful than we realize. It would surprise me to see Friday sell off hard, but we'll wait and see. But this is really a very bearish pattern, bearish wedge, and we broke out. And now we should, if it plays out, we should just see a massive dump tomorrow in technology. Okay, that's all I've got on the markets, and then just regular commodities. Let's take a look at NRGU and see how that's playing out. Our leveraged bull fund. So let's take a look. We haven't looked at this in a long time here. So it looks like, again, we just finished this fifth wave, this third wave. So we need one more high. So again, this supports oil a little bit higher. But once this pattern plays out, then it could be game over, and then we should pull back down. But if we make another high, it's a 1-2-1-2 setup. So that also means, the actual energy stocks aren't going to have a super crash, but they'll go down. So perhaps the XLE could break 90 and then come back down. Maybe it comes to the low 70s, and then it has a massive run coming. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with energy, but I really don't like even trading it right now, given the setup. Let's look at Chevron, and again, see if oil can rise. We can get that push higher. We'll see what happens. And let's go to some of the other stocks. Nothing there worth talking about. Nothing in the staples. Crypto was hit pretty hard, I think, today. And I warned everyone about this. So Mara looks like that should be finished. Should be pushing lower now. Should be pushing down lower. So that wasn't as big of a bounce as I would have wanted. So we could actually see 437, a retest of that low. Unless we can get another push higher, which I don't think is probable. So pretty bearish, right? GBTC never made that new high. So again, a three-wave structure. Very bearish, don't like to trade it anymore. Coinbase, still pushing lower. Just don't like the setup in crypto right now. Let's go to the financials. They've always been really weak when we started to get the next sell-off. So again, here's Bank of America trying to break down. Looks like it's got done this, about to get done wave 3, starting to wave 3 here. So just be careful. Let's just kind of look at some of these banks and just see how it looks right now. Again, very three waves. We're coming down. Just kind of, real weak price action. You see we broke that lower low, so we should be heading lower. Wells Fargo, we talked about the twos, just kind of heading on down. So banks seem to be under pressure, guys. Let's take a look at healthcare. And nothing there. How's mRNA doing? Finding sellers. Then technology. Technology was okay today. AMD still struggling, but should come down into this area. And then Microsoft, it did bounce. Now, if Microsoft can break 333, that would signal more upside, maybe even in technology. Netflix, let's take a look. So I made a higher high, so it'll probably go a little bit higher, but Netflix really should be coming down to the mid 300s. Apple should be in a sell area right now. It could drop at any moment. Everyone wants it to fill this gap, but we'll see if that happens. Nvidia is trying to break the highs. Could be our first clue that the bear case is invalidated, but until that can happen, we should see this sell off at any moment pretty significantly. Google 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should have peaked. Facebook, again, 3 waves. This looks like it's headed lower. Tesla, we talked about the pullback and the new high. This looks like we're still in this 5th wave. Bearish divergence, that should drop at any moment. So again, the bear case is in a lot of trouble. Well, I saw Adobe break that high. I thought that was very interesting because this pullback here was pretty big from a technical standpoint. Let's take a look at that real quick. Go to the weekly and see what we have here. And that's really a 5th wave, so I've got to relabel that. That would be too bullish. So it looks like to me it's a 4 and a 5. Something like that. So now it makes more sense looking at it, but I did notice there was a lot of strength in Adobe, but that should pull back just like the rest of them. And let's see, how did the trade desk hit its sell area today? It hasn't yet, so it's still a little bit here, but it did make its 5 waves up, so it could be done early. Just kind of looking around to see how things are shaking. Yeah, so anyway, the market for right now is at a critical moment. It is definitely not a moment to go all in long. If anything, it's a sidelines moment. But if you are gonna play the market, I think it's better to play the bearish side at the moment and play for this and see how it goes. I think that's kind of the best kind of way to trade it. And we'll wait and see how the market reacts in the next couple of days. I think a big clue, if we're going to be breaking this high, would be Nvidia breaking to new highs, and the SPY taking this high out, the Dow taking this high out. The Qs is irrelevant. If we take the high out, it's not that critical. Or IWM takes a high out, that would be important. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. And then the Hang Seng also taking this high back out here. So we have some pivots, bearish pivots in place, and I would say that it may not seem like it, but I would say the bears are still in control of the market right now. From this point, from August 1st, they're still in control. They haven't lost control. But if we lose this high, then if we make a new high and lose these pivots, then the bulls have taken control of the market again. And I would be not comfortable in any bearish positions and really any long positions until a better entry presents itself. That's all I've got. Talk to you guys later.